Sivaya Nama Tiruchitrambalam. Welcome back to our discussion on Sokkanatha Venba, verse number 45. The verse goes this way. Ennai valai, paasa aran, innamum nee kollavillai. Annayane, nee padanam aanalum, munnai malam odave, yevvuyirkum ottum, arutchenai naadiyidum Sokkanatha. It's a beautiful verse, and in order to understand this verse, we have to go back to the era where emperors were ruling our country. What happened back then was, when an emperor is trying to protect his nation and his people, they would usually construct a very solid and a very strong fort, like a wall, which is very thick, and at the same time it can sustain any kind of an attack from the enemy country. So people staying within that particular fortress will feel more secured. The king will also feel more secured. Now, when an enemy country comes in, the first level of attack that they will need to do or perform is they have to break this fortress in order to capture the people and the kingdom as well. Now, we have to go back to this analogy to understand this particular verse. So, who is the emperor here? We are the emperor. Now, what kind of a fortress we have constructed around us? It is the three types of entanglements that we have seen in Saiva Siddhantam, which is Anavam, Kanmam and Maya. Now, we feel that these three are protecting us. In fact, those three are the one which is very, very detrimental for our spiritual growth. They are camouflaging as if they are protecting us, but in reality, they are not. They do exactly the opposite. So, when you talk about the emperor within this particular fortress, thinking that we are safe, who needs to break this out? It is from someone external, which is nothing but Lord Shiva. Here, sometimes we feel Lord Shiva is our enemy because he is giving us a lot of pain. He is giving us a lot of trouble. So we often scold him. But in reality, if we look at it, what he is trying to do is break us free from these entanglements which we think are the strong fortress. So how does Lord Shiva break this? With his Arul. Literally translated as, because we all know Lord Shiva is the potential energy, and he uses his kinetic energy, which is used as an analogy as his consort, Devi Parvati. So he uses the kinetic energy to break this fortress so that we can be liberated from this fort, which we think we have an illusion that this is protecting us, but in reality that is not. So the person from outside who's going to break us free, liberate us, is Lord Shiva. All we have to do is surrender completely in order to get liberated. This is what we call it as Satyanibhadam. Satyanibhadam is the act of Lord Shiva showing us his grace. This is what verse number 45 is all about. I'll come back again with the next verse very soon. Until then, Sivaya Nama Tiruchitrambalam.